Well, Merry Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to your Lake Fork Guide. Look here, we got a little crazy hat baseball game going on today. I got my man Ty. Ty, say hi to the people.
Hello.
There's my man Eli. Eli, say hi to the people.
Hi.
And that's Bailey, the crazy ball fetching dog right there.
You got that right.
She is definitely a crazy one, that's for sure. No discipline in that dog's life whatsoever. She does what she wants, kind of runs the house a little bit. So we're out here. Hey, you gotta wait, silly. Apparently there's no discipline in these kids' life either, but we got a little crazy hat baseball game going on. Hey, Ty, it's crazy hat baseball. You can't wear your hat front ways. There you go. Now it's crazy hat baseball. So it's going to be a different kind of episode. Bailey's excited. I'm excited. The kids are excited. So you guys stay tuned. We're going to have a lot of fun today. Run, E! Look how little he is. I ain't going to help you. Go, E! Good move, E! Eli, say. See? Woo! I guess you better run.
Yay!
Bailey. Go get it.
Look at that big. Oh, we caught a huge bat. Here he comes.
Woo! Yard, baby! Gotcha! Oh, he's down, folks. There you go, boy! Woo! Smoked it! Run, E! That's Santa Claus stuck in a chimney right there. Y'all see it? Whoa! Run, E! Woo! Yard! Hit Bailey in the face. Run, E! Drop the bat and run! Call play! Yeah! Woo! Look at that, I got myself out. Woo! Smoked it! A little opposite field power from my 7-year-old son right there. I mean, I'm not a proud dad, don't worry about any of that. That's a little Christmas crazy hat baseball. Only in Texas do you play Christmas crazy hat baseball in shorts and t-shirts. Yeah. So it feels pretty good out here. It's a few days before Christmas, but we sincerely wish that all you guys have a very Merry Christmas. Hope y'all get to spend some good fun time with your family like I did today with my boys, which I don't get to do near enough of being on the water all the time. But hey, we appreciate you guys watching. We hope you enjoyed it. And now we got a special Christmas message coming to you right now. Hey.
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
Here we are in the Your Lake Fork Guide den, where the whole crew lives, even those two knuckleheads you saw a little bit ago on this video here. Hey, it's a few days before Christmas. You guys are seeing this video on Christmas Day. I got one of my very best friends in the whole world, Mr. Dennis Chambers, here with me. Dennis, he's an electrician, but he's also a pastor. And normally I don't like to mix too much of the religion with my profession, but at Christmas time it's so relevant and such an important thing to recognize it and realize that, you know, we're all having a lot of good times, we're all having a lot of fun, but, you know, there's a reason that we have this celebration, and so we want to keep that at the forefront. And that being said, Mr. Dennis has prepared something to talk to us about today, so I'm going to let him take it from here.
Well, you know, Merry Christmas, everybody. You know, Christmas is that time of year that we find ourselves, we're so busy, there's so many things going on that I know in my life, I find myself feeling like I don't belong a lot. I'm visiting family from all over. I've got my brother. I always end up going to see him around Christmas, and we don't look at the world the same way. We're just very different people. He's far more successful financially than I'll ever be, so I walk into his house and I feel like I'm going to break stuff just by being there. And I feel like I don't belong, and it's not that my brother's ever treated me bad. It's just I'm out of place. And then I find myself going to my in-laws' house. You know, we're there, and it's not very long, and I find myself asking, how did my wife come from these people? You know, it's just it's just different, and I'm with people that I'm not used to being around a lot. I mean, heck, in that scenario, there's 4 people in the house, all named Dennis. My wife's father, my wife's brother,
pure East Texas right there.
My son, Dennis Jr., we call Deuce, and me. And so anytime somebody says Dennis, I find myself just, what's going on? And I know they're not talking to me, and they never are, but it's weird. I feel like I don't belong. And then, Christmas Day, we always spend with my parents, and it's not very long until I find myself wondering how I came from these people. That these aren't the same people that raised me. I watch them with my kids and the things that my kids get away with and that my kids do. And I know that wouldn't fly. And then when I get onto them, I get in trouble for getting onto them when I remember getting in trouble for doing the same thing. And it's strange and it's weird. And you feel like you don't belong. That there's so many things going on. And that in it all, you just feel you're out of place. You're overwhelmed. There's 8,000 things going on. But that goes back to the Christmas story, to the nativity. We've all heard the story 1,000 times, and you're kind of overwhelmed with it at this time of the year. But it's not something that I think we've become so hit with it. So much of the Christmas story, so much of the nativity, that it stopped meaning anything to us. We don't stop. We don't take it in. We don't realize what's really going on. We think about that there's Mary and Joseph, and we don't think about how scary that situation had to be for them. We don't think about that, it had to be absolutely terrifying for this girl who at, around 16 years of old was about to be a mom to God. That had to be terrifying. We don't think about these, we call them the 3 wise men, these magi that came from the east, that they traveled thousands and thousands of miles following a set of stars that all they really knew was something special had happened, and they were trying to check it out. We see it, but we don't think about the fact that why were they chasing those stars unless they were looking for an answer? These were guys that were really smart. These were guys that were really educated, and they were looking for something. And, we know that what they were looking for was Jesus. But I think we forget that what they were really looking for was their Savior, was Jesus. And there's a story, there's guys we always hear about every year, that there was these shepherds. That, that the angel came and the angel spoke to the shepherds. We actually see it in the Bible, Luke chapter 2. Luke chapter 2, verse 8, it says, "And there were shepherds living out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at night. An angel of the Lord came to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified." Now that's something we actually always see in the Bible. Anytime you see an angel appear to people, one of 2 things happen. They either try to worship the angel because they realize this is something special, it has to be from God, and normally they kind of think it is God. And when that happens, the angel always tells them, "No, don't worship me. I'm a messenger. I'm not God." Or they freak out because they think that they're about to be killed. So really, there's one of 2 reactions, and these guys have the afraid reaction. They see it, and it's something that is so amazing that they're just horrified of it and convinced that something bad has to be about to happen to them. But the angel says to them, "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news of great joy that will be for all the people. Today in the town of David, a Savior has been born to you. He is Christ the Lord." And I think we overlook that. These guys were nobody. When you want to talk about somebody being a nobody, and I feel like I'm kind of a nobody sometimes. I'm an electrical contractor. I work for my dad. He and I are in business together, and it's very much his business, and I get to go along and say yes sir a lot and do what I'm told.
Professional hey boy.
I'm professional hey boy, go do this. Hey boy, go do that. Exactly, and that's okay. I'm very blessed to get to work with my dad, to have that relationship, to get to spend that time with him. But I'm there to do what he says, right. And that's my position, and I'm good with that. But that's my job, and I know in the scheme of things, I'm not real important. I don't, nobody's making or breaking their life schedule around anything that I have in store, and these guys, sometimes you feel like a nobody. You really kind of feel just put upon. You feel like you don't matter. You feel like you don't belong, and I think that's these shepherds. In the first century when Jesus was born, these shepherds were nobodies. They were the ultimate nobody. They didn't have homes. They were literally nomads. They lived out in the fields with the sheep. They were so low, kind of in the social standing because of their job. They would spend most of their life what the Jewish would call ceremonially unclean. Meaning they wouldn't be allowed even to go to the temple to worship. The way that they were taught that they were supposed to honor God, they weren't allowed to because of what they did for a living, because they would handle dead animals, things like that. And you get very Old Testament in that. I don't want to get too caught up in that. But other than to say this was somebody who didn't feel like he belonged at church. And that was okay because the church didn't feel like he belonged there either. And I'm sure none of us have ever felt like that at this day and time. When
I roll in my flip flops and my camo shorts, I get a couple funny looks.
Well, okay, actually, let me tell you a story on Billy real quick. This is the guy who the first time he ever came to my church pulls up in his van. He was still working for Miller at the time. Miller Coors. So he pulls up. I think you were in the Miller Light. You're the Coors Light van. It was the minivan.
Had a wrapped Coors Light van.
Wrapped Coors Light van. He walks in. He's wearing a ball cap with one of the beer logos on it. A jacket with the other. Under that's a polo with the other.
So I had a Miller Lite jacket, a Mike's Hard Lemonade. Polo shirt on. Yeah,
the ball cap. Every beer company he could possibly slather on. Because
he wore every day of my life.
Yeah, but you told me flat out you did it because you wanted to see the reaction.
I did.
He wanted to see the reaction. Now, what he didn't know is the church I was pastoring at the time was very much not that church, and so we had people we kept having to leave him alone. He's not here to hand out samples.
Yeah, it was not an issue at all with any of them. They were happy to see that man show up.
And that's I was very fortunate to pastor that church, and a lot of great things there, and that was a place that was we were trying to move past that. We were trying to take down barriers, but I think we've all encountered it. We've all had those moments where we just feel like we don't belong. We feel like we don't even belong at church, the place that anyone should be welcome. We feel like we don't. I'm too bad. I'm too messed up. I'm too broken. I'm too far from God. Or even I don't have the right clothes.
Right.
I don't fit with these people. And here's the thing that we got to take away from that. We got to take away from these shepherds. Don't let any of that steer you away from God. Don't let that separate you from Jesus at this time of the year. I will bring you good news of the great joy that will be for all the people. Jesus didn't come to die for the rich. Jesus didn't come to die for the people that had it together. If Jesus came for the people that had it together, the cross isn't necessary. Because the truth is we're all broken. We're all messed up. None of us belong. We're all kind of that shepherd. We're all lost. We're all dirty. We're all messed up. We're all people that don't belong.
Definitely unclean.
Definitely unclean. But Jesus came to be with us. Jesus came to bridge that gap between God and man so that we could have union with Him, to save us from our sins, save us from ourselves. And we get caught, and I can spend 30 minutes talking about that. And I don't want to gobble up your Christmas Day, which, I know you guys have stuff to do. You're going to get off Facebook. You got to see your family. And that's good. I hope you do it. But in all of that, at this time of year, I hope instead of getting caught up in all of those good things, we don't take our eyes off that good news, that great joy that came to the people that are broken and messed up, the people that don't belong, that first Christmas Day.
And we see it throughout Jesus' life where He's going to where the worst are. He's not going to the people that got it together.
Oh, absolutely.
He's going to, and it's the shepherds, and then later He's building this church way out there where all the heathens are at, and He's always around the people. He is for everybody, as you're saying.
Yeah, very much. In fact, you really look at Jesus. Jesus spent all of His time with people that were nothing like Jesus.
Right.
But for some reason, they liked Jesus.
They needed Him more than anybody.
That's right. They needed Him more.
Which we all need Him.
Everyone does, but maybe the thing was just that they realized it.
They were at the point in their life where they knew
They
they
were-
had no other way.
They were ready to accept it, but you know, if you
And
were,
I've been there in my life. I know you have as well. If you don't believe me, I actually last year for Christmas gave the full story of kind of my walk with God throughout my life, and I will link that at the end of this video if you'd like this. If you like this kind of video, you want to see that one as well. That will be at the end of the video. So I don't mean to cut it off.
but no, exactly, and that's the thing. You know, the people that were nothing like Jesus liked Jesus,
Yeah.
and that's I guess maybe that's kind of the thing that we've lost so many times today. That it's the people that are supposed to be the greatest Christians, the people that that they're nothing like Jesus, and the people that weren't like Jesus don't like them, and it's an attitude thing. It's the way we approach it, and I think it's because we just forget something. I don't think anybody has bad intent. I don't think if you've ever been hurt by church or made you feel like you don't feel welcome at church, I don't think anybody intended to make you feel that way. I really don't. I don't think that there is a church in the world that has ever said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make people feel terrible about themselves. I think it just happens because they forget just how broken we really are. And the fact that it's the broken people that need Jesus the most, and that they're the people that have flocked to Him. And that they're the people that have that real connection, and we just take our eyes off of it.
And sometimes, if you have progressed in your walk with Christ, which, I say it all the time, I'm a Christian, but I'm not very good at it. Dennis has done a lot further into the walk with Christ than I have. He's got a lot more in depth with it. But, it's for a guy like Dennis, it's your job. Christ calls you to do what it takes to reach those people. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that's going to make you uncomfortable. And that's where we kind of, I think it's kind of what you're getting at, is sometimes people that are so comfortable with Jesus don't realize that they have to get uncomfortable to do what they're supposed to do, which is reach the people that maybe make them uncomfortable.
Oh no, there's a definite connection there, and we do. We find ourselves, we were kind of talking about it this when, you asked me to do this. I was like, who kind of watches your videos?
Pretty wide.
You've got a really, really wide audience, but y'all have one really strong thing in common. And it's that link to the fishing. It draws y'all together. It's something that brings everyone together. Well, you're always going to have something in common that draws people together. You're never going to hang out with someone that you have absolutely nothing in common with.
Right.
And we forget sometimes, I think, within the church, our goal, our role to be with people, we find ourselves trying to insulate. We want everything to be as clean and as neat and as orderly as we can, and I'm not saying that that's bad. And so we start to insulate ourselves, and we don't listen to that music, and we don't talk to those people, and we don't watch those movies. But it also means we can't connect to those people.
That's right.
And we don't understand those people.
That's right.
And we find ourselves really disconnected from the people we're trying to reach. Not because we were trying to do anything bad. We were trying to do something good. But we found ourselves isolated, and the next thing you know, society has gone one way. We're now still standing here, or we've gone over here, and we can't connect anymore. There's no way to relate.
Yeah.
And so we create that scenario where people feel like those shepherds. And we have to have that reminder at this time of the year that, no, Jesus is for everyone. Jesus came for the lowest of the low to the highest of the high. From the person that's the most broken to the most together. Because I don't care how together you are, you don't have together as good as Jesus.
No, not at all. And that's you guys hear me say it all the time on this channel. We're all about helping each other catch more fish and loving our fellow man. And loving our fellow man comes directly from this. That's what it's all about. No matter who you are, no matter what you do, it's my job, it's your job, it's our job as believers to love our fellow man, because God so loved the world that He gave His only Son, and that's what this holiday is all about. So it's about celebrating the love for our fellow man. When it comes down to it, that's what this holiday should be about. It's not about Christmas movies, and it's not about the presents, and it's not even about your cute little kids. It is about loving your fellow man, whether you want to or not. No matter how wrong they've done you, no matter how different they are, you gotta love them. That's what Christ calls you to do.
Yeah, exactly. That's we love God and we love others.
I don't mean you gotta forget everything they've ever done, But you gotta love them.
That's another one. That's another one. We could do an entire.
I know. We're ready.
We could do another. And something like that may be coming down the pipe real soon.
Yeah. Please do, if you like this kind of format, two guys sitting here talking about scripture and trying to relate it to today's life. Let us know. Comment down below. We actually have some thoughts of creating a different channel on YouTube and a different page on Facebook for this type of stuff. Something that we feel like social media probably needs more of.
Yeah,
there's a couple guys doing a good job with it, but it could always use more because there's a lot of the other out there.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the big thing. Yeah. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing more stuff like this, we don't want to hijack the fishing page. If you want to see fishing, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But if you're interested in seeing something more along this line, that'll be kind of a separate deal. Yeah, please let us know.
Comment below. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know what you thought. Give us all your thoughts, questions, everything on it. And Dennis is, like I said, one of my best friends. He's linked to my page. So any comments, questions that you guys have, please ask them below. I'll be more than happy to
questions, comments, snide remarks,
and answer them. Snide remarks.
Questions, comments, snide remarks is what I always ask.
Tell him how ugly that sweater is. Tell me how ugly my fishing shirt is. It doesn't matter.
I like this sweater.
Huh?
I like this one.
I know you. I bet you do. I mean, I ain't never said you're one of my good friends. I never said you had good taste, or a good fantasy football team for that matter.
I made the playoffs 2 years running.
Who's a good team that loses in the first round every year? Because that's what you should name your team next year.
First round loss.
Just first one and done, baby.
One and done.
One and done.
No, I'll do that. I will name my team one and done next year.
Comment below if you want to see this team name be one and done. I'll screenshot it next year. All right, guys. Wait, thank you for joining us today. Like we said, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Let's all take a second to focus on what the reason is and love our fellow man and thank our Lord and Savior for sending His Son to this world to save us from our own uncleanliness, as we said today. So, Dennis, thank you.
Thanks, brother.
Appreciate it,
Always
brother.
glad to. Merry
One
Christmas.
of the best men I've ever met. So you guys give him a comment, let him know how awesome he is. And other than that, we'll see you guys next time right here on your Lake Fork Guide.